Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Joe's Desktop. I'm Joe. I'm trying something new here with this. I'm going to try and do it every week. It's going to be called Drafts of the Week. Maybe, I don't know, running title. It's going to be a bit more of a free-flowing kind of edited video. Looking to, try and do this every week, like I've said. It's going to be unscripted. It's just going to be kind of loose. A bit like a live stream, but, it's going to have editing, so you don't hear the horrible static that's on my microphone so much. So, we're going to start off here with the LCS Week 3, Day 1. First game is between Tip and Dignitas. We see here that Tip have banned only Elise because they've lost 2 bans. I don't believe Elise is worth that much of a priority if you have 1 ban. I think Corki, Poppy, what else? Yeah. Pretty much anything else that's high tier is worth banning more than that. I mean, somehow it forces Dignitas' jungler onto a Rengar, which is yeah, that's a bit of a troubling sign for Dignitas. So Dignitas' his bans are Rise, Gangplank, and Graves. I think there's better bans, especially the Rise. I don't like Rise as a pick, never mind a ban. I think he's too easy to play around and you can exploit his weaknesses very hard. He kind of takes up a lane, a lot of gold, and you can play around it quite easily. So I would have banned either the Alistar or the Lulu, probably the Lulu, especially knowing Gate's tendency towards it. Even though I know they've already picked the Alistar, but I mean, it's just, you run Lulu with like Lucian or something else that auto attacks a lot and they become a monster. You just need to ban Lulu. So Poppy, Kalista. Poppy's a good flex pick, Kalista's just a strong pick. What this then means though is that Tip can take away the other top tier jungler and gets a Lulu as well. So they've given away nothing here. They've got a flex pick, they've got the strongest support in the game in my opinion. They've got the Rek'Sai. And like I was saying before as well, the Morgana is a counter to Alistar, so banning the Morgana instead of the Elise would probably have been a better ban. I know they end up winning the game, but I think you can still improve your draft even though you win. Just because you win doesn't mean you did it better. Maybe the other team did it badly. That's Next rotation is Morgana because that's a counter pick to the Alistar and does well into the other picks. And Rengar. I don't like Rengar. I think Rengar is only strong in solo queue because he can blow people up in like half a second. Personally, like, you can flex the Poppy into the jungle. Like, it's going to do fine to a Rek'Sai. You know the jungle matchup. Why are you picking such a... Yeah, especially into like Lulu Fiora, like an Alistar, because it's just going to disengage you at any point. So that's a really, really bad pick. Yeah, that's just bad. You could have picked anything here. It would have been better. Mumu. Really, like anything would have been better. I don't think you pick your you don't pick that jungler. I think you should have. I know you're trying to leave your mid as a last pick. I would have taken Lulu Poppy. He gives away nothing. I mean, maybe they're not looking to play a poke comp as shown by this, especially with like the Alistar and the Rek'Sai, so you can take the Corki in a later rotation. I think it's a pretty bad draft overall, and you leave the Fiora up as well, so that's pretty bad. Moving on to the next game, Cloud9 versus TSM. I've done a VOD review of this game. Check it out on my channel. I'll maybe put the link in the description or something. As of recording this, I've done one of this. So we look at Cloud9's bans, Poppy, Lulu, Elise. Again, I don't rate Elise banning, and Lulu banning blue side just gives your team a free ban and takes one away from you. To me, it shows the tendency in your pick. You're basically saying, we want Corki. I don't think TSM's a team likely to take Corki away, and if they do, you can get a Jace or a Varus, because you're probably going to take the Nidalee being Cloud9 with Rush's tendency towards that terrible champion. And yeah, what was I saying? And TS, it doesn't look like Bjergsen or Doublelift really want to play Corki. I just don't think. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I didn't like that ban. You can ban something else that like a Lissandra, that will counter you quite hard, and then you force them into a suboptimal first rotation, with either taking away something from you or taking away something, and then I would have first picked the Tahm Kench. He's just too strong to not first pick. I don't understand how they managed to get Tahm Kench and Corki in the thing. So TSM get Lissandra and Rek'Sai. Again, I don't like this kind of tendency for picking flex picks and then you kind of know where they're going. I think your team has to be flexible enough to play these flex picks in mid or top or jungle. If you pick Poppy and you know it's going into the top lane, why are you picking a flex pick? Like, it's kind of, you might as well just pick like your support or something and then save it as a surprise pick, because you can't, it takes all the potency out of the pick being that strong. So they take, I mean, I like the Rek'Sai and Lissandra pickup, it's very good, but they do leave Tahm Kench open. I think you know that Lissandra's going top anyway, so you take away the Tahm Kench knowing that Cloud9 wants to play a poke comp. They then take the Tahm Kench and the Braum, really good pickups here, really strong, I like that. TSM then take the, I've got nothing more to say to that, the Braum takes away the counter off the Corki, and they want to, and then they're showing poke comp here, like poke siege comp. So TSM take the Lucian and the Janna. Janna's really strong due to her high levels of disengage, siege, anti-siege, rotational ability. She's just really fits really well in the meta at the moment. Tower defense, just really strong pickup. Makes your lane even stronger as well, especially with something like a Lucian that's just really strong. So Cloud9 finish off their comp with a Nidalee and a Tristana. Now personally, I would have taken Varus, put him in the mid lane, put Corki to AD carry. I would have taken, yeah, maybe have done that, because you can always flex the Varus into the bot lane afterwards. I know it's not as optimal, but you should be able to do this if you're looking to play poke comps, because yeah, and I don't agree with the Nidalee at all. The Nidalee is just really poor of a pick at the moment. I don't like it. I don't like what it brings to the team. It's I mean, a poke comp's revolved around taking objectives and Nidalee's looking to snowball games, so I really don't like that. And then they finish off the comp with the Victor. I think Victor's a very underrated pick in the West. I don't see many teams, bar a few NA teams, taking it. He's an amazing blue side pick, or fourth or second rotation red side pick, where you basically just say this lane is gonna hold. You pick what you want basically, and then we can counter pick for top. It's a really underrated pick in what he brings with his anti-siege, his siege, his wave clear, his 1v1 ability. Yeah, he's really strong. So the next game, Team Liquid versus Energy. Fiora, Gangplank, Nidalee. Why are you banning Nidalee? Let them pick Nidalee. Yeah, nope, don't like that. What did NRG ban? They banned Lulu, great. Corki, great. Graves, good. Team Liquid, why are you banning probably the only champion, the strongest 1v1 champion in the game? Why are you banning Gangplank on blue side? Like, yeah, just terrible bans. Ban Alistar, ban Poppy if you're scared of it and want to pick it away. Yeah, I don't agree. So then they first pick the yeah, I've got no problem with NRG's bans, supposing that their Gangplank's taken off the table. They're pretty good bans. Liquid go for the Poppy first pick, great flex pick, it's a good pick. Then NRG go for the Kalista and Elise. I mean, yeah, I know why Elise is picked. I like Elise. I don't think she's like as high priority as people put on her. That's just my problem with Elise. Kalista's just great AD carry. Then you've got Rek'Sai and Caitlyn. Caitlyn into Kalista is good. However, I don't like Caitlyn. I think, yeah, it's I mean, they can just pick high frontline and completely strangle you out the game as Caitlyn. High backline damage and things. They don't really do that on NRG. Team Liquid end up winning the match, but it can be abused very hard. She has a real dip in mid game, like really big dip. They go for Caitlyn Lux. This Lux is really risky to pick now. Oh no, sorry, no they don't. They go Rek'Sai Caitlyn. Sorry, I got the order mixed up. So yeah, so then they go Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai great pickup, and Caitlyn, that's fine. And then they end up, and then NRG go with Victor and Alistar. Alistar is a great pickup here. He works really well with Kalista. He's just probably the best support in the game at the moment. Victor. Yeah, I don't understand why you're picking. I understand picking the safe pick to get the top pick, but considering what they pick, considering you know that more than likely that's going to be a top lane Poppy, with the jungle having gone, and just, yeah, like, we know now it's a top lane Poppy, but if I was looking at that with the first 3 pings, I'd say that's a top lane Poppy. I wouldn't say that's a support Poppy. So I don't understand why you're picking your mid lane here. I like the mid lane pick if you are picking it here with the Victor, but what it does then enable is the Lux pickup from Team Liquid. It allows Lux a nice free lane so she can actually get big and get going. And then they pick up the Bard. This guy plays Bard. I've never heard of him before. A couple of games ago. Apparently he's good on Bard. Okay. They then pick up the Trundle NRG to counter this. I think personally here you should go for, I don't know how Lissandra's managed to get through this whole thing. I think you need frontline. I don't think Trundle was that answer, especially not into Poppy. Yeah, I think you need some form of engage here. You know, it's just, I don't like the Trundle pickup. I think Nautilus is a better pickup. I think he's quite underrated in what he brings. And also NRG here in the draft, they're almost looking to take away instead of flexing and making their own team comp. It's a bit of this, a bit of that, and it's not too great. So next game, CLG versus Echo Fox. Bans are Tam Kench, Poppy, Graves, Gangplank, Lissandra, Lulu. I think I believe that you can leave Lissandra up here against CLG because you'll know it's going into the mid lane. I think you have to ban away the Fiora. I think he's what's his name, Darshan is too strong on that. Or you ban away the Callista and deal with the Fiora. I think Fiora's easier to ban and not deal with, so I think you go for that. This they've already banned away the Tam Kench for you, which is great, but you know that Darshan isn't going to play that, so it's going to be a support Tam Kench. That's why CLG ban it, and that's, I mean, this is why I don't like this kind of carry top lane split push anymore, because I think there's champions too strong in the top lane that don't revolve around that you need to be able to play. You need to be able to play those champions, yes, but you need to be able to play the other sort of champions as well on the flip side. So I think Echo Fox can get around with banning the Fiora, not the Lissandra, and maybe even just pick up the, because they put very high priority on the Callista. It fits into the team comp into Aphromo's playstyle, so I think you then say, okay, we'll take that off you. So then they pick up the Callista, and then Echo Fox respond with the Alistar and the Elise. I don't mind the Alistar now. It can be easily countered by the Morgana as shown later in the draft, but I don't like this Elise priority. I'll say it again, I don't like the Elise priority put in by many teams. I don't think she brings enough to the table. She's not a carry, she won't carry the game for you. She won't disengage. She's literally there for the cocoon and a bit of damage and slight frontlineness. Like, I just think A, Rek'Sai's a better pick, which they could have taken, and B, you could even, you know, they can't take Poppy, but you can, there's other jungle picks. I feel like you should take the Rek'Sai there because it takes away it from Xmithy, and Xmithy's champion pool's very lacking in terms of things. We saw that last season with just Gragas, and then he was forced onto more uncomfortable champions. So yeah, I think you should take the I think you should, if you're going to go for thingy and then Alistar and then something else, I think you go for I think you then go for Rek'Sai. But personally as well, if you see later on in the draft they pick up the Trundle in response to the Fiora Corki. Trundle was not an answer to Fiora. The only kind of answers are Tam Kench and Poppy, and they've been banned away, and Lissandra to an extent, and Gangplank. So there's like 4 answers, and they've all been banned away. You basically need to stop this split push by completely battering down the mid lane. I don't think Trundle's the answer to that. I think what you should then do is, if you have the tendency to want to pick the Trundle into the top lane, you need to flex it in the first rotation. Because if CLG are wanting to play the Alistar, you then have the chance of a Morgana counter pick, which is very strong into their whole team comp. So and then they take the Ezreal. The Ezreal is a good flex pick, but you have the Corki available, and the Corki is just a better flex spec, so they should have taken the Corki there. What the Corki then allows you to take is either an AD, like a Varus or a Jace in the mid lane, or a nice counter pick for your mid laner. So, I mean, the Corki's a better pick there, but they let it go to CLG, which is just terrible, and then they take the Morgana counter pick. The Victor comes in as a counter pick to the Corki. I love Victor, but in this instance, I think you need to take... I mean, you're lacking wave clear, which is... you're almost forced into this Victor pick because there's like nothing else that can wave clear into the Corki and deal with the siege. But you've kind of backed yourself into that corner by picking the Trundle so early, by then not allowing the draft to play out with the flex picks. You're kind of backed into the corner with the Victor. Is the Victor the wrong pick here? No, but you shouldn't be getting yourself into that situation. So yeah, that's why CLG ultimately win. They've just got a better draft and they outdrafted them. So Immortals versus Renegades. Immortals, they go for the Kalista, the Tahm Kench, the Lulu. Don't like the Lulu ban, but I mean, I can see it being banned away because you're not willing to play it, but you need to be willing to play him. And that, well, I know Huni can play Lulu from watching EU last year. I think he should be playing Lulu, and I think you first pick it there. So then what happens? So then we look at the red side bans, and we have Fiora, we have Janna, and we have a Quinn. I don't see why you're banning the Quinn in this instance. I think you should be banning Graves. I think he's a lot stronger of a top flex pick. Yeah, I don't like the Quinn ban there. Immortals jump on that and take the Graves. Good first pick here. If you're willing to play around it, it's a great first pick. It does, however, leave the Corki and the Alistar open. Corki, Alistar, I think personally though here, you should if you're willing to take Trundle top lane or jungle, can play jungle, but if you're willing to take him top lane, you have to flex it in the first rotation. Because he does counter things like Alistar, and he sets up counters for later on in the draft and nice swings and things. You have to be willing to draft it first. Because if you show the Alistar, anytime you pick the Trundle, it's gone. So Renegades set themselves up well here with the Corki flex. Okay, no, sorry, I'll go into that in a bit. So we then swap over to blue side. They have the Poppy, they have the Lucian. Great again. You know that the Graves isn't going AD carry, but he wasn't anyway. The Poppy allows even more flex. You're like, oh, is it going support? Like, what have we got here? It's still good. It's really great drafts. Immortals drafting team, from all the drafts I've seen of them, they've had really good drafts. I don't agree with some of their bans, but their drafts are really solid. Sorry about that. So the next rotation, Nidalee, Ezreal. I don't like the Ezreal and I don't like the Nidalee. I don't like Nidalee as jungler. I think she's a terrible pick. I think you take Rek'Sai here. Rek'Sai's A better jungler, B, just stronger. Yeah, so anyway, then the Ezreal comes in and you're like, oh, maybe they're going to try and flex pick it one way that, they'll never know. Yeah, but it's just terrible. Like, it's really bad. You basically, what you do here is you should have a better jungler with Rek'Sai. And then if you flex the Trundle in the first rotation, you take Trundle Corki, you then allow yourself to then say, okay, well, we'll now, you don't know what the support matchup's going to be. And if you're that screwed by your support, you should really look to, if your support champion pool is that shallow, you should then, be looking to swap out your support or make them learn some new champions. But I don't like the Nidalee or the Ezreal here. I think if you take Corki, you then, like, say here, you take the Trundle and Rek'Sai here instead. You then leave your nice flex up in mid AD carry, and then you wait for the last pick, and let's say it goes ahead and they go, okay, Soraka, and then the best blue side blind pick mid laner in my opinion being at the moment being Victor. You take those, you then say free lane for Varus, we take Varus, we have the double poke, we've got a really strong front line with Alistar, Rek'Sai, Trundle, we have perfect siege. They don't do that, and I don't like that. So yeah, day 2, Team Liquid versus TIP. Team Liquid, straight off the bat, Gangplank, Fiora, Nidalee, Team Impulse, Caitlyn, Bard, Lulu. You shouldn't be banning Caitlyn or Bard. Yeah, that's just bad. Yes, so Team Liquid, Gangplank, Fiora, Nidalee. If you see they've banned Caitlyn, Bard, I think you leave some of those open. I really do. I don't understand how they managed to get Graves and Tahm Kench there. I think I think you don't ban Nidalee, you don't ban Fury, you don't ban Gangplank, and you just have yourself some massive thing. But I guess if you want to trick them into the Rise, it's okay, but I don't agree with it. I think there you should look to yeah, I mean if you first pick the Graves off of this like they do, you then have wave clean, you go for a double AD comp. I think you then, I mean Corki goes through this pick ban all the way through somehow. I don't know how. I think you ban Corki instead of Nidalee. If you force them onto Nidalee, that's brilliant. Nidalee's terrible. You just pick Rek'Sai and farm, it's great. But the Graves is picked up as a flex, but then they unflex it in the next rotation. I think first pick, you're alright taking the Graves. The Graves is fine here. Tip then take Rise and Alistar. Do I like this? No, because I think Rise is terrible. Well, he's not terrible, but he's overrated. You take, if that was me, and you're looking to take, they end up taking a pseudo poke comp with the Varus. You take Tam Kench there. You go Kench, Alistar, boom. Because then what are Team Liquid going to take in response? They might take Poppy. You have Tam Kench. It's a really, really bad thing. You should not. Rise is just a trap at the moment. They take the Alistar as well. Alistar's fine, whatever. So then Team Liquid then take the Tam Kench and the Lucian. Do I agree with that? Yeah, that's fine. Tam Kench Lucian. In What's Up, that's fine, in my opinion. So that's fine. Elise, and then Kalista. Kalista's fine. I would have preferred Corki, but Kalista's fine. I would have taken Rek'Sai. You need more of a frontline with the Rise being in the team comp. They then take Lux and Morgana. Morgana, standard pick into Alistar, it's fine. I think if you want to run Alistar, you kind of have to wait for the Morgana or get rid of the Morgana pickup. She counters the Alistar too hard. The Lux, I think you have to punish the Lux here. You know that this Rise should be going into the top lane against the Tam Kench. You have to punish this Lux. So I think, you can't. This is why Tam Kench is such a strong pick, because he shuts down assassins. You can't play they can then pick a free lane with the Lux, because you've basically shut down the assassin threat with the Tam Kench and the Graves and stuff and the Morgana. So yeah, great draft by, well, not a great draft by Team Liquid, but a better draft by Team Liquid. Next game, NRG versus TSM. We have Lulu, Corki, Lissandra. I would not ban the Lulu. I would ban Corki, Lissandra, that's fine. I wouldn't have banned the Lulu first. And then TSM go for Gangplank, Alistar and Tam Kench. Yeah, it's fine. So then they first pick the Poppy. TSM then go with Graves and Elise. Yeah, standard, it's fine. Graves flex. I have no problems with that so far, depending on what's banned. And then you've got Rek'Sai and you've got Lucian. Rek'Sai, Lucian, yeah, fine again. Just takes one roll away from Poppy, that's really nice. So you've still got the flex available into the last thing. Caitlyn and then Braum. I don't understand why you're picking Braum here, because you know they don't really have a poke siege comp. With banning the Corki and this, yeah, I don't agree with that. I would have gone for, you banned away the Alistar. I think that you take, you kind of need to take the Braum at that point, because he's the second most tanky champion. You've kind of locked yourself into the Braum here by A, not having a front line into your double AD comp, and B, it's really bad. And so yeah, they're kind of forced into the Braum pick there. They kind of picked themselves into a corner. I think instead of the at least you should take the Rek'Sai there. It gives you a bigger front line, and then you don't have to pick the Braum. You can pick a Morgana or something, stop some of their dives. Then they pick Zilean into the mid lane. I know, surprised as many. And Janna. So what does Janna do? Janna will just disengage the whole TSM line. The Janna pick's great. It will stop the Elise. It will stop the Graves. It will heal up his elf. I really like the Janna here. It just provides disengage for the Zilean and things just to kind of dance about. It's really nice. The Zilean bomb's a great wave clear. Pretty safe wave clear as well. Yeah, I've never really seen. I need to watch this match. I might review it just to see what the Zilean does. I might do a VOD review of that. If you'd like to see that, comment below. And then they round it off with the Victor. I think if you know that's a Zilean, you need to just go completely ham on it. Personally, you need AP at this point. But a lot of these drafts, people just pick themselves into a corner. You do have wave clear, but if you went Graves jungle here, and then flicks the Corki. Oh wait, Corki's banned. Okay. I don't like TSM's draft in this game. I think they kind of force themselves into too many of these picks that they've picked. Next year, and they end up losing it as well. I think dramatically as well, like something terrible. So Cloud9 versus Dignitas. Sorry, Dignitas versus Cloud9. Rise, Tam Kench, Alistar. Nope, don't agree with any of those bans. And then Cloud9 go for Lulu, Elise, Bard. Don't agree with the Bard, don't agree with Elise. Lulu's great. I think here you go Gangplank. What else do you ban here? You go Gangplank, and you go... I'd say you go... Oh, what would I go? I'd go Gangplank, definitely. And then I would go... Yeah, Lissandra. Let them have the Graves. Oh, I'd probably go Graves, Gangplank. I don't see the Elise or the thing. I mean, it's just nonsense to me. So, first pick is the Graves. Pretty good. He's just a really solid pick at the moment. This leaves up, however, the Corki and the Gangplank, which I think are better picks. This, yeah, they're looking to siege now. You know this. This means you should take in your next rotation. You should take Braum. Maybe not in the next yeah, I reckon you take Braum here, because you get rid of the potential counter pick from the C9 to have Braum. And then I'd also take the Poppy. That's fine. Poppy's fine. What else? And then then they take Morgana and the Nidalee. The Morgana's really good, and it stops the Poppy being a flex into the support role. Personally though, you're lacking a lot of frontline with this Nidalee pick. It's just Nidalee in a nutshell. Stop picking Nidalee. Yeah, so then they pick the LeBlanc and the Thresh. LeBlanc is to force the Gangplank into the top lane, but then they don't. I actually don't know which way round the Poppy goes, but I'd say it's a Graves into the top lane. That would be the best way round for me. You then need something. You then have a big tank. I think here you have to go for the Braum, because you completely shut down the Morgana and the Lissandra and you need to go Braum here. So the fact that they haven't is pretty bad, and they should really punish their lack of frontline in Cloud9 by just stalling out the game. I don't think you should... They then take Lissandra. I think Lissandra is actually a better pick for them. It just allows you to stall out the game. They've got no wave clear, bar Graves. It's just, yeah, their lack of wave clear lets them down into a siege comp. We have Corki, Poppy, and Lissandra. And we have Tam Kench, Lulu, Graves. I'm completely fine with all those bans. Both teams have them spot on. They go for the Kalista first pick, not with Gangplank up. I think you take Gangplank at this point. Immortals should take... They really need to learn to either take the Morgana or learn to play around the Alistar, because the fact that they're not taking either is really worrying. Yeah, I think as well, taking the Elise is bad. I don't like this draft. I like the Syndra counter pick into the Gangplank. That's nice. I don't like the rest of the draft. I really haven't got much to say about this draft. I don't get how so many power picks got through on one team and they still managed to lose. So it just means their rotations or whatever, their play's bad. I don't like Immortals team comp. The Quinn's good. The Quinn is a counter pick to Fiora. I should have said that earlier. I forgot. But yeah, the rest of the... I don't like Elise. I think Rek'Sai's a better pick. I don't like Lucian first rotation, especially that you know their AD carry. I think you can take a couple of flex picks. It shows how immobile and inflexible Immortals lineup is. So the fact that you can't really flex pick anything. I've liked their drafts up until this one. This one shows the weakness in their draft, and they're very inflexible with their picks. So that could be a potential weakness for teams watching. I could probably find out if you wanted. You can hire me. Not that I'm plugging myself or anything, but let's carry on. CLG versus Renegades. CLG, Kalista, Tam Kench, Graves. They always ban Tam Kench on blue. I have no idea why. It must be because Darshan doesn't want to play it. I think here you have to ban away the... I think you can leave Lissandra up against them. I think you can leave Poppy up. Then you know they're going to play Poppy into the jungle. I think better bans here is the Gangplank, along with the Fiora, and potentially... I think you can take away the Fiora, I think you can take away the Lissandra, and I think you can take away... Sorry, not the Lissandra, I think you can take away the Poppy as well. I think you also take away the Gangplank on top of that. And what this does is you either force them to pick Rek'Sai first rotation, or you then take away so say they now go, you've taken away the Gangplank. I think you should never leave Gangplank open. I think he's too strong of a pick. So you take away that. Let's say first pick they go they go Rek'Sai to secure that for X-Smithy. You then can take Elise, it's alright. I think then you have to go Corki, and you should then go for another. You can go for a safe lane. You can go for something like, you know, I think realistically you can leave Poppy up because you know it's going to go jungle. This means you don't have to have the Morgana counter pick, but what you can then do is you can take the Morgana away from being a counter pick for CLG, which forces them into something like Alistar, which you've then countered. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of taking the Elise there, especially with Rek'Sai on the table. I think Rek'Sai is just a better pick. I think they should say they don't ban the Gangplank, they ban the Lissandra or something. You can even take Lissandra there. Like, honestly, you've still got triple flex. I don't agree with. I think if you take away you ban the Gangplank, you don't ban the Lissandra. You leave the Lissandra up. Say they take Lissandra, you've still got Corki, Rek'Sai. Like, that's a better pick in my opinion. You then have then they take Rek'Sai and Caitlyn. I don't like Caitlyn. I think there's better picks. Lucian's up. I think you should have taken Lucian here. I just don't like. I guess the Caitlyn does stop the Corki from going into the bot lane. Then they go for Thresh Lucian, the wife killer lane. Yeah, it's not bad. It's fine. Thresh does get countered by Morgana, which is open, which is a bit bad, but Thresh is alright. It's fine. Like, that's fine. You've kind of given your Corki away though, which is part of the problem. There's no point picking flex picks if you're not going to flex them. Yeah, that's my stance on it. So they go for the LeBlanc into the Corki because they know it's in the mid lane. This is why you shouldn't give away your flex picks until the last possible second. They end up going for LeBlanc and Morgana. Morgana counters the Thresh. Morgana counters the Elise. Morgana's just a really nice pick here. LeBlanc just going to steamroll the hell out of that mid lane. I think that's what happens. Yeah. Thanks for watching this video, guys. It's been a blast. I'm going to try and keep these up during the week. I should have an EU one out for week 3 soon. So tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like, and I'll try and get this back to you next week with more drafts. Thanks for watching.